Hey guys, John here, the Vintage Geek, and here is my second loot haul from Star Wars Celebration Chicago. So, first thing I want to show you is I got the Star Wars Black Series Deluxe figure number 1. This is General Grievous. It was given to me in a shipper. Picked that up for 30 bucks, so I figured I don't know for sure, but because I don't know what retail is, but I feel like that's the best price I've seen. So I grabbed him. Why not? I mean, he's a big thing to carry home, but there he is. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I found a couple of, look at that, Battlestar Galactica figures that were in a bin of loose Star Wars figures. They were like, you know, it ended up being like 10 or 12 people had giant bins full of loose figures. And I went around to all of them until I could get a really good deal. And I bought from 2 different places, 2 different guys. One of them had those figures in their bin with the Star Wars guys, even though they're not Star Wars. And I've kind of wanted them for a while, so I figured why not? Yeah, I got a couple more Biker Scouts here. They're indecent. They're okay, you know, but it's always cool to have a couple more. Another Snow Trooper. I couldn't get any Stormtroopers this go around. ATST driver. He's not bad. He's pretty stiff. A little bit on his feet, you know, but... And then the, Death Star guy, Death Squad commander, right? He could use some cleaning. An AT-AT commander, General Veers. An AT-AT commander for to all of us. The Imperial commander. It's not so bad. Found another Darth Vader today with his cape. So I was happy about that. It is a little bit well used at the, you see that split coming down the side, but I mean, the capes are just so hard to find that when I saw them, I threw them in the pile. A couple Emperors. Another guard. Now this is the only guard that I found with all of his capes intact, you know, for the Royal Guards of any of the bins. There was only this one that I found. And like I said, there was only 2 Darth Vaders in the whole place. The one I got the other day, and the one I got here that had the capes. So it's kind of like, those are hard to find. Same with Jawas, but wait, I found them. I got the second place I went to, the last place I got my Jawas. I don't have Garandan. So when I saw him in that bin, I just grabbed him. I want to put him in my cantina, you know, the vintage cantina area. Another Weequay just to have. Another Gamorrean guard just to have one. He was pretty stiff. He's pretty good shape. So I figured that. Couple Bib Fortunas with his cloaks. Again, sometimes you don't see him with his cloak. So, oh, and this one actually has his... I didn't even realize he had the plastic piece. Huh. An EV-99. I don't have one of these. This is not the Kenner one. This is the re-release that during the Kenner / Hasbro Power of the Force 2 line. But I don't have one in my Jabba the Hutt air set, so I got it. Another Death Star droid, but this one, look at the black on the shoulder pads and the eyes. I mean, this really isn't in bad shape at all. I mean, I was pretty happy with that coloring, with the paint on that one. An Ugnaught with his poncho. Sand Person with his cape. Again, you don't see the capes that often, so I saw him in the bin. It was like, it's worth a couple bucks just for the cape. And then I got 5 new Jawas in this trip, and one of them has his cloth part, which, again, the cloth part itself is sometimes $10 or $15. So I was like, yeah, okay, if you're going to be putting them in the bin for one of those discount prices, I'll take them. And then this is the modern vintage collection that's out in stores right now. I don't have one open, so I just figured, what the hell? He's got his lightsaber, and he looks pretty cool, and I can play around with one because I haven't opened one yet. Another Luke X-Wing pilot. Again, the orange was really nice on this one. I figured, why not have another pilot? This Chewbacca, I don't have this Chewie, and I have a, Chewie display at home with a lot of Chewbaccas in it, so I figured, why not? Another Bespin Han. So it's not so bad. I mean, compared to the ones that I saw all over the place in the bins, this one's pretty good. Another New Hope Han. Big head New Hope Han. Again, he's not that bad. His stripe's still pretty much there. First vintage Luke. A little bit of fading on the arms and legs there, but not too bad. I was searching for one. My Hoth Luke is a little bit loose that I have at home. So I was trying to find one that was in decent shape for not a lot of money. And ended up trying these two out. I'll try to clean them up and see which one comes out better in the end. But they're not so bad, that one's got a big scuff on his binoculars, where this one's pretty white, but he's got the pink on his legs from rubbing up against something else. So I don't know. We'll see which one looks better compared to the one I have at home. The one I have at home is one I've had since I was a kid. And another Hoth Trooper guy, but again, he's got some pink on him. And an Admiral Ackbar. Again, I think this is the only Admiral Ackbar I found in any of the bins that were around the convention. Everybody had him for like 15, 20 bucks and up. So when I saw the one in the bin, I figured I might as well grab him because you just don't see him that much. So all in all, these figures, when I averaged it out, I mean, some were more, some were less. It just depends on which bin I got them from, because like I said, I got them from 2 different places. But when I counted all the figures up and I averaged it out, it came to $3.22 per figure. So I don't think I did too bad, especially getting some of the capes and the cloth parts and various things like that. I think I did all right, and a couple Battlestar figures that I was thinking about getting off eBay or something, and I would have paid a lot more than that for them. And then we got this little guy. So I went to a panel about prototype and vintage figures, like basically how Kenner and Hasbro do their prototyping. And they gave away a Star Tot, like it's a little metal figurine kind of thing with the coin. And what I got was that lady from Jabba the Hutt's palace that has like 6 breasts. And I didn't want her. I was like, if I'm going to have a Star Tot, it's going to be Yoda or Chewie. So I basically walked around. After hours, they had this swap meet kind of thing. And I was like, I just kind of walked around and was like, I don't want this figure. If I'm going to have one of these, I want it to be Chewie or Yoda. And then someone eventually came up and said, I can trade you a Chewie for yours. So, because he had 2 Chewies. So he traded me a Chewie for the weird Jabba the Hutt palace lady. But apparently there's a whole set of these of all the different characters that were in Star Wars Empire Jedi. And throughout the years of celebrations, you can collect them all. And then here's something really cool that I got. So, after the prototype panel that I went to, I met up with some guys who deal specifically in prototypes. And this right here is a clone trooper from the Hasbro line. And he has all of his articulation. So basically what this is even has the prototype gun. So what they do is they take the mold and they make whatever plastic they have on hand, they make each of the pieces. So that's why it's all different colors, light brown, white, and black, because those are the plastics they happen to have on hand when they wanted to make sure this thing worked. And what they do is they mold them all, put it all together, and then they can make sure that the joints work and that everything is going to fit together right. And from what I was told, this particular clone trooper, the Mark I, the Phase 1 trooper, there's only about 15 of these prototypes that exist in the world. So I thought this was kind of a cool thing. The guy that I was talking to and working with, he said that he traded for this. He got a whole bunch of stuff in trade and gave away a bunch of stuff from his own personal collection. These guys trade and deal in prototypes and various things in the process of making figures. They collect these things on a regular basis. They have been doing them for 20 or 30 years. So these guys are pretty tight-knit with the people who work at the companies. And he got this one in the trade and ended up that he already has 2 of these. So he owns 2 out of the 15. And then this would have been the 3rd one that he owned. But he basically threw it in the bundle so that he'd have something to trade later on. So basically what you do when you make a trade is you grab 5 or 6 things from somebody. They want 5 or 6 things from you. 1 or 2 of the items are the things that you really, really want for your collection. And the other 2 or 3 things that are in the trade are the items that you hope to be able to use to trade for things that you really want in the future. But he said that the trade that he did was really good. He felt as if this figure was basically free. So then he allowed me to have it for a mere $20. And because I expressed my interest in having a prototype figure, because I've never ever had one before, I think it's a really cool thing to have in your collection. And we've known each other for a while. He lived in Seattle and introduced me to these guys so I could do the trade. And I'm very happy with this. I think I made out pretty good. I think it's going to look great in my collection. And I'm just happy to finally have a prototype figure. I mean, I wish it was a Kenner one, of course, something that I grew up with, but it's still pretty cool to have one. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up, I guess. So there's my loot drops from Star Wars Celebration. I guess you could say day 2 loot drops, right? I'm not going to buy anything else at the convention. I'm done. I'm tapped out. This is it. I've spent enough money. So, you know. All right. So there won't be a 3rd one of these videos, but that's it. Okay. Thanks, guys. See you later.